What about if I doesn't want to let go of the mind?
What about if you don't want to let go of the mind?
Now, like I can rationalize that I am living in a place of lack or a place of sadness, a place of hurt. But the fear of letting go is so strong.
Yes. Some people's identity is so deeply wrapped up with their suffering that to let go of their suffering, they feel that they would die, because their self and their suffering are synonymous. Their suffering is the main part of themselves, is deeply involved with their suffering. So to let go of suffering would be to die. And many people hold on to their suffering to prevent themselves dying.
For me, it doesn't feel like death. It almost feels like rebirth. Like I would be. This just sounds ridiculous. Like a naked child, I would be defenseless. I would be a newborn child. It doesn't feel like death. It feels
without your suffering.
It's more, yeah. Without the defence, without the I've built this defence, and while within that defence is suffering and pain, it feels safer than the thought of not having that defence. It doesn't feel like death. It feels like I would be ultimately vulnerable.
Yes, but the absence of vulnerability that you feel now, in other words, the security that you feel now, is a brittle security. The walls could be breached at any moment. And you have to constantly work to maintain these defenses. As soon as you let your guard down, this defense will be breached and you will suffer. You're right. If you take down all those defenses, you would, the self that was revealed behind all these defenses would be like an innocent newborn child. It would be open and defenseless, but not a defenselessness that is vulnerable to attack. It's the same kind of defenselessness that the space of this room feels. The space of this room doesn't need to protect itself because it cannot be harmed. It doesn't need a fortress around it. What could you do to hurt the space of this room? Does the space of this room need to be protected by an elaborate defense system in order to preserve it? No, there's nothing that could happen to the space of this room. No, yourself is like the space of this room. In that sense, it is like the innocence and openness of a newborn child, but it is not vulnerable in the same way that a newborn child is physically vulnerable. Of course, a newborn child needs protection, but yourself is indestructible, unharmable. And if you were really in touch with that, you would let go of your defenses immediately. Because your defenses are, at best, fragile, brittle.
I've had a glimpse of awareness, and I can, but it feels like hanging onto a ledge, like with your fingers holding onto that ledge, and you're going to fall, and
No,
the fear of falling.
It's the other way around. It's the other way around. You can't fall out of yourself. You can't cease being yourself. Yourself is the only thing that is secure in your life. It is your brittle defenses that you have to hang on to for dear life and constantly maintain. You don't have to hang on to yourself. You cannot cease being yourself. Yourself doesn't need to be maintained. It's the only element of your life that doesn't need to be maintained. It's the only element of your life that is secure. If you invest your security in anything else, you're going to have to continually maintain that defense system. And at best, it will only be a brittle security. Something, sooner or later, will happen. As you well know with children, how brittle that defense system is. Your child starts suffering, and immediately your defenses fall to pieces.
Thank you.
No, that wasn't a satisfied thank you.
That was a hiding back in my defences. Thank you.
I can see. What do you fear happening if you let go of your defense system? Isn't that what you love in relationship with your partner or your children, to be open and undefended? Isn't that what you enjoy about relationship?
Yeah, I'm just scared. And it almost feels like the fear is the thing that keeps me safe. And I know that that's not true, and I can rationalize it, and I can experience something different, but it's alluring. It's been there for a long time.
It's not the fear that keeps you safe, it's the fear that makes you vulnerable. It's not yourself that is under attack, it's your defense mechanism that is continually being attacked and threatened. That your fear doesn't keep you safe, it makes you vulnerable. If you want safety, you have to go to yourself. If you want to be unhurtable, you have to go to that in your experience of yourself that cannot be hurt. It's not your fear that keeps you safe. And as you go through life, you will have to build a thicker and thicker wall of fear to maintain the same degree of apparent safety. And you'll feel lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. And you'll have to go to take more extreme measures to alleviate that loneliness.